Our Super Bowl was on last night.
Actually, last month, but I'm not so fast with editing.
And I'm not the only one who sat like this wondering one thing.
And I'm telling you, Bob, with a body like that, a face like that, and legs like hers.
Let's see what it takes to be an angel. That was so great. And this was already like take 4. It's the best I have. I'm sorry.
I need to get something off of my chest. So while today's breakfast is everything that I dream of when I think about breakfasts, it is also my first and almost final carb source that I'll be consuming today, which is something that I am a little bit afraid of.
And so for breakfast, I'm going to be eating like Gigi Hadid. While I found some videos that she loves a full English breakfast, I also found this menu that I get to pick from. And this is what I decided to go for. So I have some toast, basic white toast, which is amazing. Then I have my eggs, which I'm going to scramble. And then I have some orange juice with mango and apple, but mainly orange juice. I'm going to start making breakfast and then we're going to train almost immediately after. Reason being is that this is my only source of carbs for the day and it is mainly simple carbs. So it will give me a quick burst of energy, which is great because I've seen the training style and it is pretty intense. So I need all the help that I can get. So let's start with making breakfast. Let me check. Nice. And here we have Gigi Hadid's breakfast. So in terms of aesthetics, I'm not sure. But in terms of me being excited to eat this, 100%. Let's do a taste test, as if I've never had this. You know when you go to hotels and you go to the breakfast bar and then they have those huge metal tins and then it has a lot of scrambled eggs in it and you just have to cut a corner and then that's your piece. And then it kind of tastes like it might have been made the day before and just been reheated. Kind of similar. It's great, but it could use a bit of help, a bit of spice, a bit of extra flavor, maybe some greens, maybe some chili flakes, but it's good. It's good. It is toast with eggs, which is delicious. And then my orange juice. Love it. It is game time. Now I know that there are a lot of people who will assume that because these girls are models that they are training like actual angels. Very soft, very gentle, maybe low intensity, low resistance or high cardio only workouts. But that couldn't be further from the truth because these girls train like absolute machines, which I absolutely love. And today we're going to train like Adriana Lima, who has a preference for boxing style workouts, which I have a lot of experience with a lot of different training styles, but I've never done boxing. So don't judge me for my form. So this is going to be fun, this is going to be intense, and let me take you through the workout.
Incredible cardio workout. So you want to make sure you do some jumping jacks or something to lead into it. I want you to get
We're going to start with jumping rope, but before we're going to do some jumping rope, we're going to warm up by doing some jumping jacks. So I'm going to do 2 minutes of jumping jacks. I feel like my follow-along career has prepared me for this exact moment in time, needing to do 2 minutes of jumping jacks on the spot. Let's see what we have going on next.
Good, let's get a little faster, Adriana. Good, nice light bouncing on the toes. That's quick, that's great.
Okay, if I can do math correctly, we have 5 minutes of jumping rope ahead of us. We first have a basic jump, aka the only jump that I can do for 3 minutes. Then we have a 1 minute high knees, and then we have a 1 minute double under, which I cannot do a 1 minute double under, but I'm going to try. We're just going to figure this out as we go. This was really tough. I definitely have to practice more. So I do jumping rope, but just at an easy pace and no high knees, no double unders. I can do 2 double unders, but you could tell by how I'm jumping, I am not graceful at all. I need to get into like a rhythm. There's no rhythm here. It was just survival. Anyway, we're moving on with the second part of the workout, which is going to be boxing.
We're going to start off with the jab, turns into an uppercut, a hook, and then repeat the jab.
We're going to do a jab, uppercut, hook, jab combination for 64 sets each arm with a 1 kg dumbbell, because that's the lightest one that I have, which does not sound like a lot, but if you have to do 64 sets times 4 exercises basically per arm with a 1 kg dumbbell, you are going to feel it. After doing 7 minutes of jumping, this is fun though. I might film it as a follow-along workout one day. I'm gonna prep you up and then let's get started. Jab, jab.
This felt extremely awkward as I was doing it, and after recording this video I was thrown into a boxing algorithm, and then I figured out that I actually should have done a hook on the opposite side. It makes anatomically more sense, which is why I was really struggling with the flow of transitioning between the uppercut into the hook.
I did it, but this was my good side.
But this workout showed me that if you want to do more cardio instead of just doing running or HIIT workouts, boxing is actually really fun to do, because the time flew by so quickly, and the next day I was extremely sore everywhere in my upper body, not just in my shoulders, but in my biceps, my triceps, my back. It was intense.
My shoulders are incredibly sore. I feel like this was just as much a physical challenge as it was a mental one, because trying to keep track of the sets that you need to be doing while also counting simultaneously was a bit of a challenge. I think that I need some boxing lessons, because I don't know where my uppercut was coming from, but it felt like there was no flow in between the jab, the uppercut, and the hook, but I tried. And you can definitely tell that the more that you practice movement patterns, the easier it is for your brain to make that connection. But I definitely need maybe 9,000 more hours of boxing before I'm finally able to give a good solid jab. Let's move on to the next exercise, which is a strange one.
The bar is out in front of you, and then you pull that bar in and out.
My quads. This was one of those exercises where when I see it, I'm like, I'm not really sure what we are doing here and if it's the most efficient way to train. I'm not sure about what my arm was doing, but my quads, if you start your training with 7 minutes of jumping, then any hold that you'll do is extremely, extremely challenging. I just couldn't do it. My quads are burning.
1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, it might be just me, but I feel like we forgot some key information there, which is how long or how often we actually should be doing that set. I have no idea. We need to do the slide, slide, duck, duck. I have gloves. I don't have a friend. That's fine. It said that I could do it by myself. So I think that I'm just going to do it 2 sets of 64 times. And I think then we're done with this workout. Okay, duck, duck,
This day gave me the highest strain I had all week. I keep track of my workouts and my recovery and my sleep and my period, all with my Whoop. I believe that my Whoop is the reason why I never had to deal with overtraining or under recovery, because when I see that I'm redlining, I will always take a break. Simultaneously, when I see that I can kind of push myself a little bit harder, I will actually do so. In case you want to try Whoop for yourself, I have a month for free to offer you. It is in the description box down below. That being said, let's get back to the video.
I am done. That's really all I have to say. Quads are burning, my shoulders are burning, my head is burning. I know my form is very much up for discussion. Don't want to talk about it. We're just gonna ignore it. I had a lot of fun, trying at least. But again, my head hurts. So I'm going home and I'm going to make lunch. Now, unfortunately, I already spilled the beans and we both know that my lunch will not include any carbs, which is very unfortunate because all I want to do now is eat carbs. Being an angel isn't easy. We are going to prep the viral lunch by Bella Hadid.
Here is my recreation of the viral Bella Hadid salad. Our protein source is the Parmesan cheese, so I added quite a lot of it. And then we have arugula, we have paprika, we should have had cucumber, which I don't have. And then as a healthy fat source, we have an avocado. Smells amazing because of the balsamic dressing or glaze that I put on top of it. So cheers.
If you've seen my previous video, then you know that how much you are consuming plays a big role in what you look like. It determines your body fat percentage. It also influences how much muscle mass you can build because protein is really important for it. But these girls not only pay attention to how much they are consuming, what their daily caloric intake is, they also pay a lot of attention to what makes up those calories. They focus on eating healthy, minimally processed foods. They eat low carb. They focus on having a lot of healthy fats. They focus on having a lot of vegetables, a lot of fermented foods. Every single recipe that I found from these girls, everything was healthy. And that requires an iron discipline. So these girls may look like angels. They are absolute machines.
Almost every single Victoria's Secret model or angel that I looked up had this for dinner. Not for every dinner, every single day, but it was something that most of them said that they would have. And that is grilled salmon with green vegetables. Sometimes they would add sweet potato, but oftentimes, especially when preparing for a show, they would just have the green vegetables. Now, I thought about doing a bit of a tray bake, but a lot of the angels have Brussels sprouts with the green vegetables that they're having. And so if I oven bake Brussels sprouts, it makes me even more bloated than when I parboil them for a couple minutes and then fry them in the pan. So that is what I decided to do. I try to eat healthy most of the time, but I'm also not perfect. By the time it was evening, I really noticed the low carb, and so I got a pizza. And that is the end of this video.